You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment. Make sure you subscribe and check out the playlist.
I grew up hearing gunshots in the late night. Ghetto bird, police sirens as a mother cries. Just another victim of the Soundbrown genocide. Locals posted locked and loaded, ready to take lives. And when they heard the chief lay, they would duck up out of sight. Like your car when the sun down, it was mission time. You had to stay alert cause bullets always travel blind. We stayed posted, we stayed drinking and we getting high. Marchando down the enemy's neighborhood as we ride. Put the hood, put the glife sample, fuck their side. No regrets, but the truth is no peace of mind.
G-File.
Now here you have Spookytown Gangsters. Now Spookytown Gangsters, it's one of those ones that I can't confirm if it's a neighborhood, but that's how they write it. They're right here on 27th Street. You know, as you can see on all the hit-ups, you know, they write 27th Street. Now, Spookytown Gangster, not to confuse it with Ghost Town. No, this is Spookytown, so it's not the same thing. No connection, no relations, or nothing like that. Now, I was told that it used to be a crew that became a neighborhood. So, you know, they roughly small, roughly new, you know, haven't been around that long, only since the 80s. So I was told, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, man, that's who they are. Right there representing it and holding it down for their neighborhood, you know what I mean? And putting it on the map and going at it with the surrounding area, you know what I'm saying? Now here you have Palm City. Now Palm City is from hell. That's how they write it. Not saying that they're actually from hell, you know what I mean? But it used to be a tank crew, FHC, that became a neighborhood right here, obviously in the city of, you know, Palm. Right here in SD. You know, now they're not as large or old school like these, like their counterparts, the substance that they go at it with. But nonetheless, man, they active. You definitely see the activity by them. You definitely see their hit ups. You know, you see them up. You know what I mean? They definitely be right here holding it down and going at it. You know what I mean? They ain't no chumps, they ain't no pushovers. You know, they don't let themselves get, you know, punked around. They be standing the ground and holding it down right there for their water, you know, like, you know what I mean? They ready to bring that hell, you know? So, yeah, that's what's up with Palm City from hell, you know what I mean? Now, here you have Otay. Now, Otay is a big neighborhood. They deep as hell. They active, man. You definitely see the activity by these guys. You see their hit-ups everywhere, man. These guys just right everywhere. You know what I mean? They're large in numbers. You know what I mean? They keep it active, man. Like the block, you definitely see the activity by them. You definitely hear about these guys. Definitely going at it with Chula Vista. Seems like Chula Vista and Otay, they some heavy beef right there. You know what I'm saying? Right here, man, it's just like you know, it's like a slugfest and like graffiti crossing out por todos los lados. Like, you know what I mean? Like these two neighborhoods definitely have some bad blood between them. And but nonetheless, man, because you know Chula Vista is a large neighborhood in itself, but Otay, man, they a large neighborhood as well, and they deep, and they ain't no chumps, they ain't no pushovers, and man, they be holding it down right here, definitely putting their barrio on the map, and you know, that's what's up with their barrio right there. Now here you have Rough City Locals. Now Rough City Locals used to be a tank crew that became a neighborhood. They don't really have that long, you know, being up, you know, since the early 80s. You know what I mean? So like I said, they're roughly small. Definitely going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods right there. It's a tough task, you know, that they have to endure, you know, as a tank crew. You know, these other neighborhoods wanted to recruit them into their neighborhoods. You know what I mean? And, you know, like that's how the whole beef started between them and neighborhoods, and them having to right there holding it, you know, to hold it down for their neighborhood. You know what I mean? Now I can't confirm if it's a 1-3, but that's what they say, that's what they write. You know what I mean? So that's what's up with Rough City right there. You know what I mean? Now here you have the West Side Locals. Yes, the West Side Locals are also in San Diego, right here on they claim South Bay. Now the West Side Locals, you can find them right here on Seavale Street, is where their neighborhood's at. They're not as large as the ones in Santa Monica, but still, nonetheless, they're a decent size over here. Been right here in San Diego since the 80s. been holding it down. Now I know people ask this questions because they're like, no, they have to be different because they write it with a K when they spell locals is with a K, and the ones over there spell it with a C. That's not what it is. It's like if they beef it with a neighborhood that has the letter C, some put K, some put C. I should know, kind of like I'm from the locals clique from my neighborhood. Some homies write it with a C, some write it with a K. You know what I mean? Because we do beef it with enemies that start with the letter C, so that's why the K takes its place. You know what I mean? It's like killer for that, for that letter. You know what I mean? So that's, explaining into, why some write it like this and some write it like that. So not to be confused, because Westside Locals, now from what I've been told is that they all claim the same, like Westside Locals, like whether it's the ones in Simi Valley or the ones in LA or the ones in SD, it's all a Westside Local thing. You know what I mean? What leads to them. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's an explanation into their neighborhood. But right here, yeah, they've been, holding it down, going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods and putting their neighborhood on the map right here, you know what I mean? Here have Brandywine Local. Now, Brandywine Local is an old school neighborhood, but you rarely see them up now due to gentrification, booting these Hispanic families out. Makes it hard for recruitment for this neighborhood, but nonetheless, they're a neighborhood. They're right here holding it down and, still right there representing for the neighborhood, you know what I mean? Now, here's a neighborhood that's deep as hell as well. You have the Southside Diablos, not to be confused with the Esco Diablos. The Southside Diablos is a large neighborhood right here on the South Bay, the south of San Diego. The Southside Diablos is definitely large, definitely active. You definitely see the activity by them. Now, they may not be as old as their counterpart neighborhoods out here, but nonetheless, man, this neighborhood is definitely, with the business. You know what I'm saying? You see the activity by them. You see the numbers. They hold it down right here for their barrio, Can't even say you don't. I mean, you definitely see the activity, by them. Excuse me. Through everywhere you go right here. It's a chamuco thing, like they say, you know what I mean? A bunch of chamucos running around right here in the south. But that's what's up with the Southside Diablos. Definitely, be right here representing for their barrio, you know what I mean? Putting it on the map. Now we have Chula Vista. Now, Chula Vista is right here in the city of Chula Vista, obviously. This is the neighborhood. There's other neighborhoods around in Chula Vista, but this is the neighborhood that is the most dominant, the oldest, and the largest right here in Chula Vista. Now, I was told, shout out to the homie Grizzly from Chula Vista. Shout out to Capone from Chula Vista. Now, I was told this neighborhood has been around since the 50s, early 60s. Is when Chula Vista, that's what I was told, is when it was established. You know what I mean? This barrio is definitely large. This barrio is definitely, with the business, man. You see the activity from beginning to end. Anywhere you go in Chula Vista, you see, man, the graffiti. You see the activity. It's definitely the trenches. You know what I mean? They got their city on lockdown. You know what I mean? This is the barrio that you do see. Pretty much dominating right here in Chula Vista, you know what I mean? They ain't playing, homie. These guys ain't no chumps, no pushovers. They definitely with the business, man, and they get it popping out here, you know what I'm saying? That's what's up with Chula Vista right here. Definitely representing for San Diego and putting it on the map, you know what I mean? Now here you have Dairymark Street Locals. Now, Dairymark Locals is a neighborhood that was around since the 70s, early 80s. Roughly a small neighborhood, but even though they're a small neighborhood, they definitely active, man. You definitely see the activity by these guys. These guys ain't no chumps, ain't no pushovers. Obviously, their neighborhood's right here on Dairymark. You know what I mean? Man, they definitely be putting it on the map. You know what I mean? These guys are active. You know what I'm saying? Going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods. Now, even though they're not as large as their counterparts, man, like I have said, numbers don't mean shit. Just because the neighborhood is deeper than another neighborhood doesn't mean that, that neighborhood is like some chumps or they get smashed on. Like, nah, man, these guys hold their own. They represent right there. And I don't know why people say that they used to be a crew, because they were never a crew. These guys were a neighborhood. And yeah, they right here definitely holding it down for their barrio and putting it on the map right there for, for their neighborhood. Shout out to the homie Chino. From Dairymark, firme, witty homeboy right there. And shout out to the homie Loco from Dairymark, crazy. As the homie right there. And yeah, shout out to all the homies from Dairymark that be right there representing for their barrio, putting it on the map, you feel me?